NFL draft nerds, welcome into Rogue Football. It is all draft all the time here at Rogue Football. And hey, NFL Combine on-field work began today. Right now, we are talking about the edge rushers who dominated day one of the Combine. A lot of guys did not do much. Some guys didn't do anything. That's all right. Most of them we will get at their pro days. No Abdul Carter out there has a foot injury. Apparently, there was some conflicting reports, but it's looking like that will not require surgery, so we should get him at his pro day. No Michael Williams. But look, the biggest story coming out from the edge rush group is going to be Shamar Stewart. Unbelievable athlete Shamar Stewart is. 40-inch vert, 4.59 40-yard dash, 1.58 10-yard split. Shamar Stewart is, for me, he's been in the teens, right? Like, maybe he needs to be higher. Honestly, maybe he needs to be higher, right? At 267 pounds, which is lighter than he plays. And most of these guys did come in lighter than they play, which I appreciate because it shows you're doing what you can to try to ace every step of the draft process, the pre-draft lead up. You're coming in light, you're trying to perform at your best, and Shamar Stewart performed at his best. 6'5", 34 and an 1/8 arms, 267 pounds, and all he does, again, 4.59 40-yard dash at that size. 1.58 10 split, 40-inch vert, 10.11 broad. Unbelievable athlete. And you look at his ability to set the edge at an extremely high level, to play with power, to convert speed to power. And there is a budding pass rush plan and skill set there. This isn't like a guy who doesn't have any sort of pass rush coming into the NFL. I think, like I said, I've had him in the teens for a long time. Do not be surprised if Shamar Stewart comes off the board in the top 10. Honestly. To me, there's no reason to not compare him, certainly to Michael Williams, but to Trayvon Walker, who went first overall, right? Shamar Stewart is that level of freak. And Trayvon probably shouldn't have gone first overall. I cover the Jaguars. Trayvon Walker has developed into a very good player. He probably should have been a top 10 prospect in that class, but not the first overall pick, right? That's neither here nor there. Just saying, that's the type of prospect we're talking about with somebody this freaky. And I think he has actually a better pass rush plan than Trayvon or Michael entering the NFL draft. Bottom line. Now, some other guys who absolutely showed out. Landon Jackson, Arkansas edge. I think this is a guy you can definitely move around the defensive front. When you talk about Landon Jackson, I'm a big fan of his. I've always thought that he should be around early to mid, depending on what the needs are when certain teams are selecting second round. That's where Landon Jackson should be. That's where his tape says he should be. And he came in a little lighter than he plays as well at 264 pounds, 6'6", 33 and a quarter arms, 10-inch hands, 4.68 40-yard dash at 264 pounds is cooking. And again, at his size, 6'6", 1.65 10 split, 40.5-inch vert, 10.9 broad. This is a guy that plays physically, plays with power, can set the edge. Very, very strong football player. And I think he has more flexibility than you would expect for someone at 6'6" and going to be playing about 270 pounds. This is a guy who helped himself. And for anybody that may have been sleeping on Landon Jackson, maybe having prospect fatigue on Landon Jackson, he could have been a prospect that came out last year, came back. He's going to be a good NFL player. I think he's going to be a starter for a long time. Ultimately, his ceiling will be dictated by how he conducts himself at the next level. I don't think that he's ever going to be like a perennial double-digit sack guy. But can he be a solid number 2 for a long time? Yeah, I think he can. And again, a piece that you can move around the defensive front. Prince-Leean Mellen. A lot of kind of varied opinions on how his day went. I'll tell you what, I'm impressed. And he came in light. He played, I believe, close to 260. Came in at 244. So Prince-Leean Mellen, we got to see him a little bit at the Senior Bowl. 6'4", 33 and 7/8 inch arms. Great length. Came in at 244. 38-inch vert. That's what you first saw, right? Really impressive jump, vertical explosiveness. 10.6 broad, right? 4.72 40-yard dash. That isn't like earth-shattering, but it is good. Like, people forget that a 4.7 is absolutely cooking, right? That is moving. He was moving out there. And the 10 split is solid, very good. The broad jump of 10 foot 6 inches, 3-cone drill 7.33, 20-yard shuttle 4.46. Those are not, mind-blowing, but he is an explosive athlete with length. I think that shows up on tape consistently. And he's a guy that, to me, has a really good pass rush plan and pass rush skill set. Now, I saw some folks talking about him and a lack of flexibility. He's leggy, right? He has long legs, and that can lead to some perceived stiffness. I think with his combination of explosiveness and length, it's not going to be a problem at all. And 4.46 for the 20-yard shuttle came in at 5th among edge rushers. The 3-cone at 7.33 came in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th out of 10 guys that did it, right? So that's really not an impressive 3-cone. And that's not surprising with how leggy he is in my mind. So this is a guy, I don't think he necessarily vaulted himself up the board, but I think he did exactly what I kind of expected him to do. I thought he might run a little bit faster than that, especially at 244, but still, 4.7 is awesome. I'll tell you who looked really good. Donovan Ezeiruaku, and he is acing every step of the draft process so far. To me, he's a top 32 prospect, bar none. He's one of my highest rated edge players. He's 6'2.5" with 34-inch arms. That is tremendous proportional length, right? He's low to the ground, natural leverage, but he has that great length, and he uses it. He uses it extremely well. Did not run the 40, but 35.5-inch vert, 9.11 broad, which isn't anything crazy, but 6.9 4.3 cone, 20-yard shuttle of 4.19. Both of those are very good. That 3-cone was the best among edge rushers. 20-yard shuttle was the best among edge rushers. And I think he just looks so smooth. So this is a guy that, yeah, you can get fired up about. And the 35.5-inch leap, vertical leap, that is a really good number for him. Ashton Gelati. I don't know if he did anything other than the vert, but the vert was really good for Ashton Gelati out of Louisville. A guy who I love, maybe 3rd round, later day 2 pick. Maybe if you're able to steal him in day 3, good for you. Not the longest, not the most prototypical edge out there. 6'3", 32-inch arms, 264 pounds. I think he plays a little bigger than that. But a 36.5-inch vert for Ashton Gelati and a 10.0 broad. Really impressive. This is a guy that maybe not going to be ever a starting edge. Maybe he will be. I mean, he could be a 2. But I think he's definitely a 3. High-level 3. High-impact 3 that can be an ass kicker. Just run right through a lot of guys' face and have a little bit more twitch than you would expect for the way he plays the game sometimes. Femi Oladejo, great day for him, and converted linebacker down to edge at UCLA. A guy that has shown out through every step of the draft process so far. Very happy for him. Excited to see him continue to work. Can't wait to see where he lands. I think he should be a top 100 pick at this point. 6'3", 259 pounds, 33 3/8-inch arms, 36.5-inch vert, 10.0 broad, looking smooth out there in all the drills. Very impressed with him. And you would expect a former off-ball linebacker to look pretty smooth at edge. Tyler Barron had himself a day. 6'5", 258 pounds, 33 and an eighth inch arms, 4.62 40-yard dash, 35 and a half inch vert, 10-1 broad. All those numbers at his size, and he plays a little bigger than that, I think. Very good. And this isn't a guy that I'm like blown away by the tape. I think if you grade to the flashes, you can get pretty excited. So, and he's 23. He's not like a young prospect. He's not 2021. So you would like to have seen a little bit more development, but you can definitely take a swing on this guy. And again, if you grade to the flashes, you can get really excited. And I think you can try to use him as a rotational defensive lineman, edge player. Develop him into a role player. And the physical skill set is there to potentially be an edge too. I think the more realistic projection is a solid edge player, or a solid role player on the edge who has some positional versatility. James Pierce Jr. Golly, started out with a big yikes, right? With the vert. It's like 31 inches. And it's been a lot of negativity surrounding James Pierce Jr. as of late. I love the tape. And I'm not privy to all the off the field, all the character, all the conversations, the meetings, interviews, all that. All I know is what I see on tape is James Pierce Jr. is going to be a double-digit sack guy if he's able to get in a good organization that cultivates what he has to offer, right? If he lands with the right team, I think he's going to be an absolute menace. And he ran a 4.47 40-yard dash. 4.47. Unbelievable, right? By far the fastest of anyone out there. 4.47 at 245 pounds. 32 and 3/4 arms. I thought he had a little bit more length than that on tape. But, I mean, 33-inch arms when you're as athletic as he is, freaky as he is, not a big deal at all. So, yeah, James Pierce Jr., I think with that 40 time, nobody's going to care about the vert, honestly. I don't think people are going to. And you turn on the tape and you see a dynamic pass rusher. So it's going to be all about, for him, it's going to be all about when is a team willing to take a swing on James Pierce Jr., the person, right? Nick Scorton did not test, but he moved well on the field work, coming in under 260 pounds. I'm impressed by that because, he played at like 280 this year, over 280 at Texas A&M. They made him put on way too much weight. Him playing around 260 is where he should be, and that's where I think he can dominate at the next level. I think he's being severely underrated in this class. So I'm fired up about the edge class. We will talk about defensive line, defensive tackles, and linebackers tomorrow at some point. Wanted to get this in for y'all tonight, talk a little bit about this edge group that I thought was pretty exciting overall. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.